The Chris Salcedo Show
on the Blaze Radio Network.
We'll start this discussion. Dr. James Pinckney II is a board-certified family medicine physician. Dr. James studied general surgery at the prestigious Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in L.A. After graduating from Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, he's the founder and CEO of Diamond Physicians. That's a concierge medical practice focused on the patient-physician relationship. Diamond bypasses those cumbersome and inefficient middlemen. We call them the traitorous insurance companies to deliver personalized, high-quality medical care to their valued clients. Dr. James, welcome back to the Salcedo Show here on The Blaze.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me on the show.
I am glad to have you here as part of the panel. We're going to be reaching out, and we're just having some issues trying to make connections with another doctor, Dr. John Mooney, and a guy named Michael Tétrault. I think it's a French name. That's why I'm having such a hard time pronouncing it. Tétrault, I believe, is how it's pronounced. And he is a guy who writes about this stuff extensively, has a website. We'll get into all that here in due course. You and I, during the week, were able to have a conversation about Obamacare, about how much more insidious this law is than we were first led to believe. It was bad enough that our federal government was telling us that we must buy something. That was in and of itself a slap in the face of freedom and liberty. But now it is coming to light that folks like you, who are coming up with alternatives to the traitorous insurance companies and to Obamacare, you folks have been targeted, it seems, inside the legislation. Let's go over the first point here. Your concierge medicine model does not satisfy Obamacare requirements, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So, and the reason why this was done is because the traitorous insurance companies and Team Obama knew that as soon as they tried to impose this on the American people, those who didn't want to comply, which is, if you look at the polling, the majority of Americans don't want to comply, that they would be looking for alternatives. And the government wanted to make sure that that the people had no other choice but to surrender to a government-approved health care plan with government-chosen providers, the five major providers, the traitorous insurance companies out there. So it's written law. They're trying to edge people like you out, entrepreneurs like you out, correct?
You know, that is unfortunate, Chris. You know, I've had several clients over the last couple of weeks with the tax returns coming into light that are going to be fined 1% of their gross income. And they can't afford insurance. I have one client, she needs a meniscal surgery. She has a meniscal tear, so she needs an arthroscopic surgery, and she can't afford her insurance. It's almost $600 a month for her. She pays $195 to be a Diamond client. She gets unlimited visits, no copay, 24-hour access to her doctor. And I found her a surgery for $3,700 instead of $40,000. But now she can't take the hit from the tax return either because she doesn't have the Affordable Care Act exchange plans. So she has to choose between Diamond and between terrible insurance policies. And she came to my office crying yesterday because she said, you know, Dr. J, I can't afford both. I have to make a decision. I said, I understand. I completely understand. You have to make the best decision for your family. We're here. So I'm going to hold her membership if she can't afford it when she can make some more money and come back to our practice. But it's sad, and this is happening all over the country. People are forced to choose between direct primary care, which is a wonderful alternative, and a terrible insurance policy.
All right. Now, folks, we are joined by our other two guests now. Dr. John Mooney, he is the founder of AMG Medical Group. He is a respected surgeon who founded AMG on the basis of providing high-quality health care at an affordable cost without government or the insurance companies, the traitorous insurance companies, getting their grubby little hands all over it. Dr. Mooney, I want to welcome you. And Michael Tétrault is also here. He's considered an expert in the field of concierge medicine and direct primary care. He currently serves as the editor-in-chief of the DBC Journal and Concierge Medicine Today. Michael is the author of these books, Branding Concierge Medicine, The Marketing MD, The Doctor's Guide to Concierge Medicine. He's a faculty member, too, and a physician mentor at the Doctorpreneur Institute. I love that name, in Atlanta, Georgia. Gentlemen, welcome to you guys to the panel. As I'm going to welcome you, I'm going to go to break. And Dr. Mooney, we're going to come back and talk with you. The first question will go to you because Dr. James, who we were just talking with, he has concierge medicine. What you do is something called, I'm getting my terminology straight here, direct primary care. And I want to flesh out the differences here. Again, our job here, gentlemen, today is to come up with alternatives, viable alternatives to beat Obamacare. Stick with me. More on the other side of the break. It is the Salcedo Show here on the Blaze Radio Network.
The Blaze Radio Network.
The entire hour of this program, the entire 1 o'clock Eastern hour dedicated to beating Obamacare. My guest, Dr. James Pinckney of Diamond Physicians, Dr. John Mooney of AMG Medical Group, and Michael Tetreault, I'm going to get that right before the end of this interview, I promise, editor-in-chief of DBC Journal and Concierge Medicine Today are my guests. Dr. John Mooney, as promised, your question comes up next here. I was just talking with Dr. James Pinckney about how insidious Obamacare is and how it is basically trying to make sure that folks like you who are trying to come up with a better way to do medicine aren't able to do it. Would you describe, first off, the difference between concierge medicine and what it is that you do?
Well, we practice direct primary care in a pure sense. We offer our members a low flat monthly fee, for example, for $89 a month. Mm-hmm. We don't participate in any insurance company, so that's $89 all they pay to us, and there is no copay associated with it or deductible. So our services are wide range and includes unlimited visits, blood work, X-ray, sonogram, mammogram, pap smear, minor surgeries, physical therapy, and more.
Gotcha. Okay, and you are located in New York, and Diamond Physicians is located in Texas. So we got a left-wing state and a conservative state represented, and you guys are trying to make it go, provide alternatives to the American people. But Michael, it's very hard to do because a closer examination of Obamacare shows that these concierge/direct primary care physicians have a lot stacked against them because, frankly, Obamacare saw these guys coming, these entrepreneurs coming, and wanted to cut them off at the knees so Americans would have no choice but to go to the government for their government-approved health care plans. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. And, I mean, these are pretty deep waters. Having Obamacare and having just plain health insurance is now the law of the land. And one of the very first questions that consumers want to know when they, are given the option of walking into a concierge doctor's office or a direct primary care office is, how does this work with my insurance? Does this cost me more? Those are the types of questions that doctors are being asked all over the country. And these are there are free market models and that are arising. I mean, look at the trends in retail medicine and the urgent care centers are popping up everywhere. We're here in Atlanta, and there's an urgent care center and a CVS Minute Clinic and your Take Care clinics on just about every corner now.
Yeah, and one of the other insidious problems with it, if, let's say, I despise Obamacare on so many levels it's not even funny. If I wanted to partake in an alternative and say I wanted to do concierge medicine or direct primary care, Dr. James, and I wanted to partake in your service, that doesn't qualify under Obamacare. But if I wanted to buy a catastrophic loss policy that was under Obamacare that did qualify, they used to be relatively inexpensive. And for folks, if you don't know what a catastrophic loss policy is, basically if you get in the car accident or the devastating cancer diagnosis, that's when that insurance kicks in. And it used to be relatively inexpensive, like $80 or $90 a month. But Dr. James, the insurance companies made sure that was not going to be a viable alternative either, didn't they?
Yeah, unfortunately now these catastrophic policies are hovering around $300 a month at the least, and that's for around a $6,000 deductible. So it's very unfortunate because we used to be able to couple that catastrophic piece for around $100 a month and Diamond services, which average around $145 a month, and you'd have a wonderful comprehensive plan for you and your family for, $300 a month, under $300 a month. So it's a huge issue, huge problem, and we're struggling to try and find a way for clients to be covered under the Affordable Care Act and continue their Diamond services.
And after all is said and done, though, Dr. Mooney, there are still, if you look at the silver plans on Obamacare and the gold plans, if you still buy one of these unfairly highly priced catastrophic loss policies, you could probably still exceed the silver and gold plans by buying a service like AMG, plus one of these ratcheted up catastrophic loss policies, and still come out ahead of Obamacare. Isn't that right?
Oh, that's definitely. I mean, bronze level coverage, for example, has a combination of deductible and out-of-pocket expenses almost reaching $7,000 a year. So if anybody in New York area wants, they want to see a doctor, then they have to really pay that $7,000 before their insurance can kick in. So if they buy $89 plan with us, more or less 90% of their problem could be taken care of with $89 a month, which comes to slightly over $1,000 a year.
Yeah, I got you.
This is definitely a much better alternative and a much better care as well.
Sure. And Michael, another one of these issues is that, we saw the language of the Obama administration as they were passing Obamacare. They made guys like Dr. James Pinckney and Dr. Mooney the enemy. They made them the enemy, saying, oh, they're charging too much. We are hearing horror stories from medical professionals all over the country who, under the Obamacare provisions, are actually having to pay out of their pockets to see patients. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's not my idea of a successful business model if you have to pay to see patients. Am I right?
That's right. And I mean, the administrative burden and the overhead that's incurred on traditional managed care insurance-related type of practices outside of the free market medicine type of models that are emerging are, I've had doctors tell me they're becoming better typists than they are doctors. And when they move into concierge care or it's direct primary care, it's so rewarding. And they say, you know what, this was the hardest thing I've ever done from a business perspective because I'm trained to be a doctor, I'm trained to treat the body, but I'm not trained to be in business. And so, they say I get to practice my practice and treat my patients in the way that I've always dreamed of and wanted to. And I'm so happy to be able to do that.
All right, we're going to go to break here in the next couple of minutes, and I want you guys to focus on a couple of questions for me. Well, the primary question I'm going to ask all three of you when we come back, which is how we actually started out this segment. Your prescription, if I can keep it in the medical parlance, your prescription for beating Obamacare. There are hundreds of thousands, well, let's just say millions of people out there who have lost their insurance policies, who are looking for alternatives to Obamacare because, by any measure, it still remains highly unpopular with American people, and it is failing left and right. I mean, one of the most biggest examples is the wrong information that was given out to nearly 1 million individuals here in the United States about their tax filing purposes with the IRS because of Obamacare and this website of theirs. So here's the question when we come back from break. I want Dr. James Pinckney from Diamond Physicians, Dr. John Mooney from AMG Medical Group, and Michael Tétrault he actually is the editor-in-chief for DBC Journal and Concierge Medicine Today. I want you all thinking about this. Thoughtful alternatives that we can give the Blaze audience to Obamacare. How do we beat Obamacare and allow them to keep high-quality medical care in their lives but not breaking the bank? All right? So make sure we'll get your phone calls in, too, here, 888-900-3393, 888-900-3393. Also coming up on the program this hour, the Constitution Revolution with Chad Kent. He has got a beauty. It's part of our ongoing commitment to remembering where it is we come from, where we get our rights, where we get our responsibilities, where we get our protections from the Constitution of the United States. This hour dedicated to beating Obamacare, a 3-guest panel. And I invite you to either jump on Twitter at Chris Salcedo TX, jump on Facebook, The Chris Salcedo Show, or dial us up, 888-900-3393, and we'll get your comments, especially if you have questions for our panel of experts. Again, we've got Dr. James Pinckney, Dr. John Mooney, and Michael Tétrault is on the line. So make sure you call us up and get those questions in, and I will ask these gentlemen, but when we come back, their solutions to help you beat Obamacare. It's all on the way. The Salcedo Show here on the Blaze Radio Network. Don't go anywhere.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you will be able to keep your health care plan, period.
A system where we're going to work with your employers to lower your premiums,
by up to $2,500 per family per year.
None of that happened. A bunch of lies that were used to sell the American people on the Obamacare legislation. Not one Republican voting for said legislation. It all belongs to the Democrats. Let me add another lie, just while we're thinking about lies here from the Obama administration. The Lois Lerner's emails are completely gone, not recoverable, as they discover thousands more Lois Lerner emails that they said weren't there. Okay, let's get back to our guests right now. Dr. James Pinckney from Diamond Physicians, Dr. John Mooney from AMG Medical Group, and Michael Tréteau. He is with, of course, he's the editor-in-chief with DBC Journal and Concierge Medicine Today. Gentlemen, I gave you the question before the break so you can think on it nice and hard, and Dr. James, we'll start with you. How do the American people beat Obamacare?
You know, Chris, we had a grandiose idea about 5 years ago, and we wanted to blanket the entire country with affordable care. So what we decided to do was a franchise model. And we're actually the first concierge practice in the country to choose the franchise model. And it's actually a combination of concierge and direct primary care. So our practice is a little bit more expensive than Dr. Mooney's AMG group. We average about $1,800 a year all-in costs for our clients, well under the bronze plan, $7,000 a year. And we've got 3 revenue drivers. So we've got our monthly membership plans, our Diamond Solutions plan, which target corporations and lower healthcare costs for large and small businesses. And then we've got an executive physical program that is state-of-the-art. So we're trying to help investors, physicians all over the country deliver our Diamond model to the people that truly deserve affordable care, exemplary care, and just destroy that traditional insurance model where patients only receive 8 minutes of face time with their doctor. Our clients average 60 minutes with their doctor, and again, one low monthly price, unlimited visits, no copay, 24/7 access, all your acute medications and all your acute procedures are included.
Okay. Dr. John Mooney, same question to you, sir. What is your prescription for defeating Obamacare?
Well, my prescription is very simple. You join us at $89 a month, and you get all your primary care services plus more. And you buy a high-deductible health savings account or bronze level coverage to be compliant with Obamacare because, just my plan itself, it won't, it will not, prevent you from being penalized. So that's the solution. But unfortunately, even the bronze level or high-deductible HSA accounts are very expensive. And if you want anybody to accept what you're offering, you really have you got to make it affordable. And as you all remember, when the cell phones came out first time, it was $3,000 in 1987, and the network usage was very expensive. Now the cell phones are practically cheap, affordable, so billions of people on Earth have the cell phone. I think we've got to find a way to reduce the cost of healthcare so people can participate, not necessarily run away from it.
Yeah, I got you. Michael Tréteau, this is something that you have been writing. And how long have you been doing what you've been doing with DBC Journal and Concierge Medicine Today?
Since about 2005, maybe 2007. I'm not exactly sure, but we've been writing about this and talking with a lot of doctors and consumers as well as businesses and
right.
even investment groups.
And what have you found out was the best way? Because we can already I think everybody here talking can concede that Obamacare is not the way to fix health care. How do we do that, and how do we defeat Obamacare by, again, allowing the American people to bypass the traitorous insurance companies altogether?
Well, my answer is a little bit more complicated, and it takes a little bit longer. But I think that good families and good individuals and smart individuals are readers, and they need to become as informed and educated about what their options are in their local businesses and their local communities, and find out, what is there even concierge doctors around me? Are there direct primary care clinics around me? And if there are we've listed them out. There are 41 questions you should start asking these clinics if you think that one of these is for you. But I think leaders are readers, and you've got to become informed. And it's all based on what you can afford, too. So if a direct primary care clinic is, if you're in your 30s or 40s, a direct primary care clinic is very popular among the Generation X as well as the millennial generation, between about $25 and about $85. Direct primary care clinics across the board across the country are usually under $100, and they require a monthly membership, and they don't participate in insurance. Whereas on the concierge side, if you really want to develop, a much closer relationship, have much more comprehensive services involved, a lot of people think concierge medicine is very unaffordable, but in reality, it typically costs the majority of the plans or the majority of the practice memberships out there are between $100 and about $225 a month. So you need to become informed about what your options are. And if you're wondering, how I just take whatever my business gives me and I don't ask any questions, I think that patients and consumers and employees should start talking to their HR departments. And there's a lot of resources out there. And we provide the DPC Consumer Guide and the Patient's Guide to Concierge Medicine that people can give their employers to, soften the beaches in their HR departments and say, hey, have you guys thought about this? Maybe for next year. Let's think about some options here. And but it's all based on what you can afford. And and I think that you've got to become well educated about what's out there.
Let's do a quick fire here. Basically, it's either very short answers or yes or no answers. Let's just get it on the table right now. Dr. James Pinckney II, Obamacare, good or bad?
Bad.
Bad. Dr. Mooney?
Well, it was well intended, but unfortunately, implementation and outcome is very bad.
And Michael?
I completely agree with Dr. Mooney.
Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, okay. Nice idea, but as with all government-centered issues, it tends to lack in implementation. The free market, at least this is my 2 cents here, gentlemen. The free market is definitely the best arbiter to solve these kinds of things. If you're looking at excellence and you're looking at quality care and affordable care for everybody. As far as there was one more question I had for you all. Dr. James Pinckney, by the way, the second is one of my guests, Diamond Physicians, Dr. John Mooney, AMG Medical Group, and Michael Tétrault. He is with the editor-in-chief, the DPC Journal, and Concierge Medicine Today, and author of so many books it's not even funny about concierge medicine and direct primary care. Gentlemen, there is going to be a lot of resistance out there from the federal government, and there's going to be a lot of folks who are seeking alternatives. If you had your druthers, and the way medicine would look in the future, is it going to be this government-centered approach, or will it be a free market approach? Dr. James?
Well, we're hoping that it's going to be a free market. I think the Affordable Care Act did have good intentions, but it focused on access to health insurance instead of access to health care, which is much more important. So what I'd like to see is the government accept direct primary care, concierge medicine as an alternative to the Affordable Care Act. Don't make people buy policies that are subpar, and let the free market take over and let competition drive down prices and cut healthcare costs exponentially.
Dr. John Mooney, are the insurance companies friend or foe?
Well, they're not. I don't think they're friends because they also are in this together with the government and all the regulators, because the ACA allows them to keep 20% of the premium. So the higher the premium, the more they keep. So I think they're in the basket with them. I don't think they are the friends.
Michael, what's your read on, again, the big providers, and given the fact that they've already pledged that they will fight any Republican effort to get rid of Obamacare because their bottom line is looking really pretty. They're making billions upon billions of dollars off of forcing Americans to buy more expensive versions of their product. Are they friends or foe to the American people?
I think that I agree with both of the statements here, and I think that they're probably more foe. They're trying to get their dollars out of their clients, out of us, their constituents. But I think that there are efforts being made with the Direct Primary Care Coalition and lobbying efforts. They're small efforts, and they're statewide efforts typically that are moving these free market models ahead. I also think we really need to support these, consumer supply versus demand. If you have a lot of demand for free market services like concierge care, retail medicine, direct primary care, then insurance companies are going to start beta testing products. They're going to start creating wraparound products, and we've seen some of that across the board in certain markets. But I think we also need to look at who has lobbying dollars that can actually work for us in the free market medicine area, and I see that we have our Take Care clinics, our CVS's, our even Walmart and Whole Foods are thinking about diving into the retail clinic market, and those are free market forces that are helping us choose that. Okay, I didn't know that I could get a flu shot for $12. I didn't know that I could get an X-ray for $33. And so those companies, those big pharmacy chains have a lot of lobbying dollars that they're spending. We did a story on that just this past couple of weeks, and they're spending, I think, over $4 million a year just in 2014. And now, granted, a lot of that has to do with pharmaceutical, state lines, and can I send this pharmaceutical, drug across, from Michigan to, Texas, et cetera. But they're putting dollars in Washington, and we need to watch where they're putting their dollars too, because these free market forces can help us. And so that's a very dirty, a very feet on the ground type of approach.
I got it. Okay, gentlemen, I want to thank you for dedicating some time here on a Saturday. This is a very important topic, and you know what? You guys know the business that you're in, so this will not be the last time that we undertake something like this on the Salcedo Show. Dr. James Pinckney II, the operator of Diamond Physicians, Dr. John Mooney, the founder of AMG Medical Group, and Michael Tétrault. He's the editor-in-chief of DBC Journal and Concierge Medicine Today. Gentlemen, thank you so much for carving out time for the Chris Salcedo Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. More to come on the other side of the break.